Okay, so this video is going to describe how to put data into our PPE forecasting tool and get forecasts out for the baseline scenarios, or I should say baseline scenarios, but the built-in scenarios. Okay, so you can get the tool from the CHIME app, Penn Medicine's CHIME app. So here we are on the CHIME web interface, and I'm not going to go into any details about how you can sort of change assumptions and things in CHIME, but suffice it to say that there are a lot of knobs you can tune over here, and they have their own documentation for how to use this model. You can also use our PPE forecasting tool with things other than CHIME, other forecasting models than CHIME, but we'll just use CHIME as an example here. So to get the PPE forecasting tool, you sort of scroll down here on the CHIME app, and you can see right here there's this link for the PPE calculator. So we'll click on that. It brings up a download, and we'll sort of save it here in the downloads folder for now. Okay, so we can go in here and open up this PPE tool, which is an Excel spreadsheet. And you can see on the front here that there are some basic instructions, and I'm more or less going to be showing you what these instructions are telling you to do. So the key thing is that you need to input data that are a daily forecast of the number of hospitalized patients, the number of patients in the ICU, and the number of new admissions by day. You can also input the number of patients on a ventilator by day, but these numbers here in this column aren't actually currently used by the tool, so you don't in fact have to update them. But this column, this column, this column, and then over here the dates, these things do need to be updated to give a forecast. And so you can get forecasts like this from CHIME or from various other forecasting models that you might use. And with the spreadsheet interface, as long as you have a daily forecast of the number of hospitalized patients, the number of patients in the ICU, and the number of new admissions, then you can use any model you want. So I'll give an example of how to do this with CHIME. CHIME provides, right below this link for the PPE calculator, it provides a set of results that are appropriate for putting into the PPE calculator that are based on the current parameters that you have over here for your CHIME forecasting scenario. So let's download this. Just click here. Then we can open up this CSV file. That'll also open up in Excel. And you can see that we have all the columns that we need here. We have the date, the number of hospitalized patients, patients in the ICU, patients on a ventilator, and new admissions. So we're just going to copy these. Go back to the PPE tool. Position our highlighter here in the first cell of the date column. Paste special, paste values, sort of keep the formatting nice. And here we are. So now we'll save the spreadsheet and then just go down to the interface tab here. And you can see that already, having input these data, this interface tab is showing you results for the total number of N95s, surgical masks, pairs of gloves, gowns, and disposable eye protection. And these results here, so these are totals over the forecast period. So your forecast period is basically this date range that you put in here, which is about a month. So these are total amount of PPE needs over the forecast period for COVID-19 positive patients in the hospital, either in the ICU or in the general census or in the ED. So we also incorporate the ED. And this sort of one drop-down menu over here allows you to select different scenarios. So I won't go into detail in this video about what the different scenarios mean, but you can see that as you change this selection here, both these numbers down here, which sort of give you the details of all the assumptions, and the output numbers over here, which tell you the consumption over the forecast period that's represented by the inputs in tab 1 over here, these things change. And so these three scenarios, standard, contingency, and crisis, are our built-in scenarios and are described in our manuscript and in the user documentation. And then all the details of these scenarios are down here. And so in a separate video, we'll sort of talk about these details. And we'll also talk about this ability to choose you can essentially customize all of these assumptions that you see down here by picking custom scenario, which then allows you to make changes to all of these different parameters. And so in another video, we'll describe how you can build your own custom scenarios. So that's it for now. That's how you can get the PPE forecasting tool, put in the forecast for the number of patients, and get out forecasts of the amount of total PPE requirement during your forecast period. Okay, thanks very much for listening.